Howard University canceled today's classes and shut down Wi-Fi after a ransomware attack targeted its network. In-person classes will resume tomorrow, but still no Wi-Fi on campus. According to the university, their IT team detected unusual activity on the network last week and shut it down to investigate. The school says there's no evidence personal information has been leaked. They are working with the FBI to protect personal data. Now, Howard released a statement saying that the investigation is ongoing and they, quote, continue to work toward clarifying the facts surrounding what happened and what information has been accessed. Now, to get a better understanding about why Howard was targeted and the next steps, let's speak with Dr. Jonathan Welburn from the RAND Corporation. He's a researcher specializing in computational economics and cybersecurity. John, thanks so much for coming on with us. First off, I want to start with this. We've seen a spate of ransomware attacks, right, targeting colleges and universities. So is there a reason that they might be particularly vulnerable?
I don't know if particularly vulnerable, but of course, lots of organizations of various types and sizes are vulnerable to ransomware at this point. That's the unfortunate story.
Okay. Now, in its statement, Howard said that it, quote, detected unusual activity on the university's network, and then they intentionally shut down the network. So I'm wondering, just as we follow down the linear progression of what they've done, does that action make this easier to resolve, or by the time they figured out something was weird inside their network, is it already too late?
Unfortunately, it's hard to tell at this point. I think that's definitely the right process that they're following at this point, to, once you suspect something's wrong, to take the systems offline and try to minimize the damage. But the truth is that it could be that the ransomware attack has been successful and that several of their key files or key systems have been locked up and is making them unable to operate at this point.
Generally, how long would that take to figure out? You've shut it down, you've done everything right, you've got to go through and investigate. How long until they know, oh man, we might be hosed here?
They might already, we've seen in the past that can be quick. It can take a long time. They might already know the answer to that question, but are kind of going through the motions right now of the investigative process before they want to really confirm what the level of damage has been. But it could be a series of hours, or it could take quite a bit longer in some cases.
Right. Kind of to that end, the school hasn't really released specifics. They've been quite vague with the statements that they've put out. So we'd have to sort of speculate here. What is a likely run-of-the-mill hacker request? What are they likely facing right now?
So a likely case for them would be that the attackers are in. That's the bad news, and that the attackers are demanding a ransom for unencrypting files, unencrypting a system, for example, and that they would have to pay. Those fees have been getting larger and larger recently. And the University of California, San Francisco, I believe, had paid a ransom just over $1 million in the past year. And so we've seen with other cases like Colonial, those fees have been getting higher and higher as the ransomware attackers are discovering this new successful business model.
Right. And as we've seen more and more ransom attacks, we've seen more and more instances where people are paying that ransom because, unfortunately, it's often easier and cheaper just to go ahead and pay rather than say, forget you hackers, and then have to rebuild the system. We know that the FBI would certainly advise against that, but what does your experience show about one course of action versus another?
No, I think you nailed it. Right now, in many cases, and not to speculate of how Howard's going through this, but in many cases, it may just be easier and cheaper for the organization, for the insurers of that organization, also to say, paying the ransoms the easy way out. We're able to get our systems back up. In this case, for Howard, get classes back up and running, and we really have to pay the fee to get back up. Now, the reason why everybody would say not to do that is each time a ransomware attack is successful against the university, it's encouraging the next dozen ransomware attacks against universities.
Right. Yeah, that's not a road we want to go down at all. Listen, Dr. Jonathan Welburn from the RAND Corporation, thanks for coming on and talking with us tonight.
Of course. Thank you.